guys, how are you? I'm so happy to talk to you today. I was just chatting with my mother-in-law this morning. They're visiting us for a weekend because my middle son, he's playing in a band. They're playing tomorrow. They have a concert they've been preparing for, and it's AC/DC for a whole hour, and he's on drums. So that'll be super fun to go to and just watch what they've prepared, and he's really good on the drums. So my in-laws came here to for the concert, and they're staying with us. And of course, we were chatting over breakfast because, well, we don't eat breakfast, but they do eat breakfast. And so, of course, the intermittent fasting came up. And of course, I can't resist talking about it because, it's my favorite subject now. And I think it's the best because our body's the best. And of course, now my husband's fasting now. My kids, they just eat their breakfast later. They're just naturally not hungry in the morning. Most of the time, they're just hungry a bit later, mid morning. So, which is fine. And I often check with them. I tell them, like, it's not for kids. You're not supposed to be fasting when you're a child. You just eat when you're hungry. You're growing. You have different needs than I do. So I just make sure I'm very clear about that. And my son already told me that he will fast when he's older, which I'm really happy about. But my mother-in-law, they're in their 70s. They've lived their whole life eating 3 meals a day. And so it's very hard for her to think of not having breakfast. And she, of course, like, we joke back and forth, and she can joke about it when she gives me a hard time about not feeding the kids and how they need protein so they can learn, blah blah blah. So we joke back and forth, but I was just telling her about all the amazing healing that happens in the body when you do fast. And so you just need to give your body a chance to actually do that, to clean up the kind of the broken proteins in the cells. And anyway, so this morning I thought, okay, I can't be annoying everyone with all this intermittent fasting that I'm crazy about it. Like, I can't, I do annoy people with it. But I thought to myself, okay, whenever I feel like annoying people with it, I just need to record an episode about it so that I channel my enthusiasm about it this way. So today I want to tell you the 3 things that I wish I knew earlier in my journey about intermittent fasting, so it would make it easier for me and for you, and I would actually stick with it. Because first time I ever heard about intermittent fasting was 8 years ago, 8 years ago, from Brooke Castillo. And the way she introduced it to us was for weight loss. And also she paired it up with keto, um, keto lifestyle, right? Not eating a lot of carbs. And I did do that for a while, and it worked beautifully for me. I lost a bunch of weight, my baby weight that I had, and I felt good on it. And so what I wish I knew back then, 2 things. So the way she introduced me to it is that she said you have to fast until lunch and you have to eat this way. So first of all, I wish I knew that don't have to change the way I'm eating, because that would make it a lot easier for me to practice the muscle of fasting. But because I did both of them at the same time and I thought they'd go together, and I wasn't really that well educated on the actual fasting, it was ended up not being sustainable for me. Because after a while, I started thinking, like, why can't I have this? I want that, and everyone else is eating. Why can't I eat this? Why can't I have breakfast? And so it slowly crept back in, and I started sometimes having breakfast, and I loved my coffee with cream, and I also wanted all the carbs. I love carbs, like good carbs and nuts and fast carbs, and I love all of them, right? So because I mixed it in with the keto lifestyle, I made it a little bit less sustainable for me. So I stopped doing it completely. So that's one thing. That's the food. I wish I knew about that. I could just continue eating what I eat and just practice and focus on one thing at a time. That's one thing. The other thing is, I wish I knew that you could fast for any amount of time that you want. So I did not have to aim for a certain amount of time, which also made it a bit rigid and not sustainable for me. And for a lot of people, that I hear a lot of people, like they if they if they try to stick to a certain time and they forget to listen to their body, adjust fasting to their lifestyle, like these things will make you stop fasting. So I just never thought that I could just fast until I'm hungry, or fast until like I just thought, okay, I'm gonna fast for 18 hours. But then if I'm hungry like half an hour earlier, I would not think of eating earlier. Or let's say 18 hours came and I'm not hungry at that time, I just was so rigid in my head that I would eat at that point and not wait until I'm hungry. So it just kind of made it not fun. And I really like the idea of adjusting the fasting to your life. So let's say you're going for lunch with your friend at 12, but it's you haven't hit your 18-hour fasting goal. Well, who cares? It's fine. Let's just adjust that and let's make it. What if you made it to 17 hours and 22 minutes? Who cares? The point is, you are practicing your fasting muscle. You're still giving your body a chance to heal, to clean up, for your body to access whatever stored fat it has, and just give your digestive system a break from eating so much, as we were before. And so, who cares if you fast for 15 hours and 42 minutes, or if you fast for 19 hours or and 37 minutes? Really doesn't matter. You can just adjust it to your lifestyle and not focus on the numbers of it. And also, it does not have to add up to 24 hours, because the way they usually introduce the fasting is tell you two numbers. The first number would be the fasting number, let's say 16:8, and then the second number would be the eating window number, so 16:8. Two of those add up to 24. Or they would say 18:6, again add up to 24, or they say 24, or they say 23:1. So all of these add up to 24 hours, and they sound so rigid. And it's way more fun to not adhere to any of those guidelines. And let's say you fast for 17 hours and 30 something minutes, for example. You break your fast, and then you have a 5-hour eating window. Does that add up to 24 hours? No, and it doesn't have to, because that makes it way more sustainable, way more fun, and you adjust this fasting lifestyle to your life, to what works for you. And so that's the other thing that I wish I knew, is not to really focus on those numbers, to really make it work for you. So the first one was the food, like keep eating the way you're used to eating. And once you're used to fasting, then you can kind of focus on improving the quality of your food. Because it's way easier to just focus on one thing, right? If you're gonna attack too many things at once, it's way easier to just stop altogether, because you get overwhelmed. It becomes too hard. You have a terrible day, and then you don't want to fast, and you also want to eat junk, and then we're failing on two accounts, right? So the third thing that I wish I knew sooner was about the clean fast. So a clean fast, which I didn't know about 8 years ago, is where you have during your fasting window, you have only drinks they have no flavor in them. So now no flavored teas. The only thing they can have is water, warm water. You can have unflavored coffee, like black coffee, no cream, no sugars, no sweeteners. You can have cold coffee, and that's it. Or sparkling water, unflavored sparkling water. And so I would still have coffee with cream even back then when I was fasting. Well, dirty fasting back then, 8 years ago. And I really loved my black coffee with cream. So skip to about a year ago, I really was still kind of going back and forth on having breakfast. Sometimes, sometimes having coffee with cream. Sometimes I wanted to have bulletproof coffee. And but I also really knew about the benefits of fasting. My parents have been fasting for probably 10 years now. They are managing my dad's diabetes simply with lifestyle, and he does not have to take any medication. He's basically not having diabetes because of the way he's he's eating. Thanks to my mom, they're just fasting and eating really, really clean, really well. And so I still was aware of fasting, and I wanted to fast. I wanted the benefits. And so I finally like just Googled, and I said, like, is it breaking my fast to have coffee with cream? And that's how I found Jen Stevens and her books and her podcast. And the answer is yes, it does break your fast. Yes, you should have only black coffee to not break your fast. And this is where I tell you about her books, which you've heard about before. You should really go out and read them and listen to her podcast. It has changed my life. I listen to it still. And the books are Delay, Don't Deny, second edition, and Fast, Feast, Repeat. And her podcasts are Intermittent Fasting Stories. And the other one I really like is Fast, Feast, Repeat podcast. So I found her. I quickly read her books and listened to all the podcasts, and I started drinking black coffee. But I made one mistake. So she mentions, oh yeah, you can also have black tea, but tea that's unflavored, so it can, if it's made with leaves. So that's where I went wrong. When I heard that you can have tea with just made out of leaves, no other flavors, then I thought that peppermint tea and chamomile tea are okay. And for the last year, I have been drinking peppermint tea and chamomile tea during my fasting window all morning. And I've just recently heard Jen Stevens mention those teas on her podcast, and that they actually can break a fast because they are flavorful, right? They are made out of food, and especially chamomile tea has that sweet profile flavor. And so I was so bummed out because I have thought I was fasting clean for a whole year drinking those things. And I just couldn't believe I was wrong, because I just thought I am so good at fasting. I know everything there is. I've listened to all her podcasts. Like, I can't believe I missed that. So I was happy to finally move on and kind of not have that in my fasting window. And I just have my coffee, my water, I just take breaks between my hot water and cold water and my coffee. So for me, like, I feel very strongly that we need to clean fast for two reasons. Number one, it makes it so much easier for us to fast because we're not constantly spiking our insulin levels. When you spike the insulin, then when it comes down, it makes you hungry because your body thinks you have food coming in. So it sends some insulin, but there is no food. So then it comes down, and then we're hungry. And so back when I used to have bulletproof coffee, I thought that actually it would help me get to lunch. I was like, oh, and this is, some people said that you can have bulletproof coffee, which is coffee with butter and uh, MCT oil, and it will make it easier for you to fast and get to lunch. Well, it made me so hungry. I was very hard to get to lunch. So that's why I really wanted to really figure out, is it breaking my fast or not? And now that I don't have any cream in my coffee, I don't have any bulletproof coffee, nothing. It's so easy to get not only to lunch, but to fast until 1, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. So that's what I wish I knew, is that you really need to clean it up, and it will make it easier for you. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, for me, that's important to me, is that's when your body has a chance to do all the cleanup. is when you're not disturbing it with all this stimulation. And I love the idea of my body doing that. And so that's why if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right, right? So it has a chance to heal, to heal the inflammation, to heal whatever needs to be healed. We don't even know on the inside what's going on, what your body has to work with. But I knew for sure for me, it was a very high insulin resistance, and I don't know what it's called, hyperglycemia, where I would eat and then I would need a nap. And I think that's also a sign of insulin resistance. And my energy was a year ago was so low. I would basically not want to do anything. I would want to lie on the couch and I would just feel broken. I would barely have energy to do I have what I have to do, like just bare minimum. And now I just think, oh, I'm tired. Maybe I'll sit down. But I'm like, oh, I'll just do one more thing. Oh, just one more thing. Just one more thing. And then I'm just get so much done. I have so much more energy. That is, I think for me, the biggest benefit that I've gotten is the improvement in my quality of life. My energy is so much, I have way more energy. It's more stable energy, and I am not constantly needing a nap. So that is, for me, that's huge. I even went down to write down once my why, like why am I fasting? And I just kept writing down, thinking of different aspects of my life and my day, and I just kept coming back to the same reason: because I feel good, because I feel good, because it feels good. And it's so true. Like, it just feels good to not eat in the morning. It feels good to and it feels good to eat later when I'm actually properly hungry. And it feels better after I eat because I eat better now because I'm more picky about what I'm willing to eat. So those are the three things that I wish I knew, and I'm sharing them with you. One is the food. Keep doing what you're doing with the food until you've gotten good at fasting. Two, you can fast for any amount of time that works for you in your life and your day. If you need to start slow, start with 12 hours, stay there for as long as you're comfortable, and give it time. Give your brain time to catch up with 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 not eating breakfast. It takes time for your body to adjust. It takes time for your brain to adjust. And if you're trying if you go too fast too soon and you go to 16:8 or 18:6, or if you skip too many meals, you might have a bounce back effect. And so do what works for you, especially more so in the beginning. And the other one is clean fasting, and the last one is, what was it, the food, the time, and the clean fasting. Yeah. So go check out Jen Stevens' books. I highly recommend buying them. They are extremely relatable. They're so fun to read. She's fun to listen to. And this is not a quick fix. This is not a diet. This is not something, a fad, like the short term. This is a lifestyle. And for me, it's been over a year now that a year and a half, maybe, no, over a year that I've been quote unquote clean fasting. Now I'm even more clean fasting, but it definitely is a lifestyle that I am doing for my health, for my energy, for my future, investing in my health in the future. And I highly recommend for you to check it out. I love it. I'm obsessed about it. My husband can't stand me constantly talking about it, but I guess that's just my personality, and I just kind of bring things around to what I'm obsessed about. And I love it so much. Okay, hope you also experience the energy boost from it and the health benefits. And if you have any questions, you can always message me on through my button there's on the podcast. It says send us fan mail. You can email me. I know I changed my email, but you can email me through the podcast website, and I'll be happy to hear from you. Have a great day, guys. I love you. Bye.